FatDag is a Weight Watchers leader in Indianapolis, Indiana. However, the views and opinions expressed during this podcast are his own. They do not represent the views of Weight Watchers. And now, here's your host and wingman, FatDag.
I am your host, FatDag. You're listening to WhysAdvice. My weight loss journey failed when I focused on how. It wasn't until I switched my focus to why that I truly transformed myself. Join the show on the web at FatDag.com and follow along on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all at WhysAdvice. Send in your comments, your questions, and your celebrations. I'll include them as part of the show. But before we dive in, remember, when you're out of points, stop eating points. Hey, I'm honored to be your wingman as we walk through this journey together because I believe in you. Well, hello. Welcome to episode 152 of WhysAdvice, and I want to give a huge shout out to those of you listening for the first time on Spotify. Just got word, and looking at the download numbers, looks like it's a real popular destination for the show. So thank you, all of you, for tuning in on Spotify, for finding the podcast, and out here getting it done. Very, very, very cool. As you know, for those of you who didn't find the podcast in Spotify, we're also on iHeartRadio, Stitcher Radio, but the best way, in my opinion, the best place to hear the show is the WhysAdvice app. Go to your app store, get a standalone app, put it on your phone. The reason I think that's a little more important is because you're going to hear in a little bit, you're going to hear some emails, some folks who kind of lost their way for a little bit. And having an app on their phone is a little bit different than not going into, looking into iHeartRadio, looking for it. If this app is on your phone, you may quit the program for a little bit, but you're probably not going to delete the app for a little while. You'll probably leave it. You may ignore it for a long time, but you're probably not going to delete it. And the beautiful thing about that is it's going to constantly remind you, and someday it'll be you'll be strong enough to hit the button and listen to the next episode, and it'll instantly bring you back. And it's kind of like saving yourself. So it's absolutely free. Go to your app store, WhysAdvice with FatDag, download it. While you're out there, give it a review. Really appreciate all that. Here's another great example. On Facebook tonight, before the show started, Colleen wrote in. She put a thing out in the Wise Wingman Facebook group, and it was really interesting. And she said, well, I ended my Weight Watcher membership. Then I listened to podcast episode number 151, and I signed back up. I will not fail. Colleen, welcome back. It's exactly what we're doing here. We're not failing. This is a room full of people who want to get this done, who are motivated to get it done, who are showing each other that we can get it done. Colleen, the Wise Wingman group is here for you. We're all here for you to tell you that you can get it done. So welcome back. Let's do this. Episode 151 was very interesting for me. It started off with someone, Pam, as a matter of fact. Pam wrote in and said, hey, I need some help. And I really, as I was reading the email, I kind of got stunned for a little bit, because what I understand from my journey is I don't really know how to help anyone do this journey. There's nothing I can do along this journey to help you. All I can do is tell you that it's possible. All I can do is show you people who are successful getting it done, but I can't do it for you. The best I can offer you is a glimpse of what it looks like to succeed from an outsider's view, and then encourage you to say, if you want this, it's here for you. So we had that conversation with Pam, and I was very honest and said, I really can't help, but here's some other people who were in your scenario who got it done. And we went through episode 151. Well, Pam immediately wrote in. I want to read you her follow-up email based on the feedback from episode 151. Pam writes in and says, I am listening to your response podcast, and I'm crying. I've been clean and sober for over 30 years. I remember the day that I got it in my gut when I accepted that I was an alcoholic and an addict. I have not touched any of it since that day. 5 years later, I quit smoking. After smoking for over 15 years. I've gone to OA where they said it was a disease. I was okay accepting alcoholism and drug addiction is a disease, but I was not accepting that overeating is a disease. I now realize that I've been self-righteous about judging those in NA and AA who would not accept that it was a disease. Now I am seeing that I have not accepted that overeating and obesity is a disease. Do I want to accept this? My spoiled inner child says, no, absolutely not. Don't believe this. My addiction does not want to go away. I'm going to go way back and visit how I was able to overcome my other addiction, how I felt, and when I decided to truly surrender. I believe that I have just realized I've been a martyr about weight loss. I'm 64 years old, and I've been finally opening up about a rape that happened to me when I was 17. I had suppressed it for these many years. I had heard of people putting it all out of their minds, but I didn't realize I was one of them. Perhaps this is one of the reasons that I have felt like I can't succeed. I am not a psychoanalyst, but I know what I've gone through. It is hard to go way back in my past to a time that I was so young, I never told anyone, had never heard the word rape, and that it produced a child. I did not know the men. Please note, I have no idea why I'm sharing so much, but it has helped me. Perhaps my story will help someone else. As you can tell, your podcast has awakened something in me that has shown how I need to go back to acceptance. Overeating and obesity is a disease. I believe that is where I need to start in my Weight Watchers success journey. I have joined the Facebook community, and I will be forever grateful to you and how your words shook me to my inner addiction. I am grateful that God, my higher power, heard my prayers of help and led me to your podcast. I found out about it on the Weight Watcher community. I was about to give up again. I'm an auditory learner, so your podcast is perfect for me. After writing this email, I have a peace I have not experienced in a very long time. I know there will be ups and downs. I truly understand that stinking thinking pops up. Every so often I have a thought when I see someone smoking a cigarette after 27 years that they really look sophisticated. You've got to be kidding me. Then I remembered how they smell, and I become grateful again. I have found the key today, and I will use it to unlock the shackles of acceptance to be replaced with acceptance and gratitude. I shall have an attitude of gratitude. I will not give in to the addiction of unhealthy eating. Thank you, Dag. Keep it up, Pam. Pam, you have endured a lot. And what an amazing journey you're on, and what an amazing time in your life right now to come to these realizations that everything that you've gone through has led you to today, where you can now be free of all that and be a complete success. The things that you've done, becoming clean and sober for over 30 years, to kick a cigarette addiction, 15 years ago, that takes incredible strength. Absolutely incredible strength. And what's beautiful about that part of it is you've proven to yourself, and you've written it down to the world, that you actually have the strength to succeed. It's all about focus. And it's where do you want to apply that strength to do whatever goal you set for yourself. The inner strength that you have, that we all possess, enables us to do anything we put our mind to. The problem is, a lot of times we don't put our mind to what we truly want to do. And in your case, understanding now, just like I believe in my own self, is that my overeating and my obesity is a disease. And what's helped me is by calling it such. It now no longer says I'm a failure for not being able to do this. I have an actual reason, and then I can work to correct it. I can work to maintain it. But the freedom of labeling it something other than me is exactly what you figured out. I believe now that you and I are in the same mindset where we are now surrendering to this. not in a surrender as we're giving up, but we're surrendering to the fact that, okay, the only way to beat this is to manage it, to understand what the enemy is, to understand exactly what I'm going through, and go do this. Pam, you're absolutely a winner. You're an incredible winner. The strength that you've shown your entire life will get you to goal. Everything that you've attacked so far in your life, you've attacked with amazing focus, and you've accomplished so much that this little piece right here, this is the last straw for you. This is the last of your major hurdles to free you from everything in your life that's been kind of going at you. If you put your mind to it, you put your focus to it, you use the strength that you use to beat every other thing that you beat in your life, you can get this. You are absolutely right. There are going to be ups and downs. Truly understanding that stinking thinking will pop up. But it's that not giving up piece. It's that fight in you that says, I can do this. That is what's going to get you to goal. So I think, I was wondering as you were writing and I was reading, I was wondering when you said you don't know why you shared, I think I know exactly why you shared. And it's why I encourage every single person, when you start this journey, I want you to grab a pen and a paper. I want you to write down your why. And as Pam just did right here, granted she typed it out, but something happens when you take the time to actually write it versus think it. As you write, your brain has to process the words differently. It's a little slower. You become a little more methodical. And that writing it down helps you focus on what it is you're trying to say and really put the words out there. As you start to see them and you start to feel them, the emotions pop up. It's incredibly therapeutic to get this stuff written down. Now, sure, if you want to share it, I'll be glad to share it with you on the air. I think Pam can attest to, by her email yesterday, episode 151, it led her to this discovery that we may not have had she not written in. That's the power of this community. That's the power of everyone coming together and showing each other that it's possible. You just need to be deliberate in your actions. You need to be focused in your actions. And so many of us think that it's just us. So many of us think that we're the only one going through this, and nothing could be further from the truth. And when we ask ourselves, why can't I do this? How come I can't be successful? Why do I continue eating when I know it's bad for me? It's because we've talked about there's more to this journey than just your ability in your mind of wanting to get it done. And when you accept that, you now can put a name to it. You can put a label to it. And then, and only then, you can begin to attack it and get it done. Pam, congratulations on your amazing discovery. I can't wait to hear as you reach your goal and add this to the amazing list of accomplishments that you've done. 2018 will absolutely be your year. Next up, B writes in, says, hello, FatDag. When I found you, I was so happy. I was listening every day. In fact, I'm one of the many voices on your 100th episode show. Well, and then it happened. I stopped counting points. I stopped listening to the podcast. My scale broke. I started working all this overtime, blah, 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 blah. But I never did quit Weight Watchers. I still paid, and once in a while I would read the boards on Connect. Then it happened, and I heard of freestyle. So when it showed up on my app and I weighed myself, oh crap, 20 pounds came back on. Oh, well, like I didn't know I was gaining weight. The tighter scrub pants were a big sign. So this time I said, okay, let's do this differently. Let's only get involved with what I want, such as your awesome podcast, your Facebook group, and Connect. I deleted all of those extra groups. It gets to be too much for me. I told myself to keep it simple. I'm not making these gourmet lunches and dinners. I also said to take this one day at a time. I can only worry about today. Tomorrow is a new day, and I will do my best when that day comes. So almost a year after I joined Weight Watchers, I may only be down 15 pounds. Well, 10 for sure, but I think it'll be another 5 by Christmas Day. And yes, I did join on Christmas Day 2017. So in 2018, I will work this plan and I will take it one day at a time. I will not worry what I weigh on July 4th or my birthday or when I go on vacation. I finally get it that if I do this every day and I do my best every day, then the weight has to come off. In the end, I know that I have the tools in front of me and I just need to use them. As many have said before me, thank you for your service, thank you for your podcast, and thank you to your family for sharing you with us. B. This last paragraph in this email could be an entire podcast episode on its own. I finally get that if I do this every day, and I do my best every day, then the weight has to come off. In the end, I know that I have the tools in front of me. I just need to use them. It doesn't get any simpler than that. Now we all understand that life gets in the way, and the caveat in there is do your best every day. Wake up that day and just do your best with the circumstances that you've been given for that day. The weight will have to come off if you just continue to be focused on what it is you're trying to do every single day. Now, I'm like you, and I have to kind of keep my brain a little less cluttered as well. There's a lot going on, and there is not a shortage of support groups. There is not a shortage of Facebook groups. There is not a shortage of places to go get support. But you've got to find things that support you, that click with you in your journey. So just like you, as I have to kind of tune some things out. I have to find what's really important to me. And I have to ask, is this helping me? Is this distracting me? Is this working for me? And I have to shed things that don't do it. I'm truly honored that as you did that I made the cut. That our group, the Wise Wingman Facebook group, has made the cut. Because I do believe that we've eliminated the distractions from there. It's nothing more than a community of people who get it. It's private, it's closed, you can share whatever you want. It doesn't leave there, and we're not distracting ourselves. We're absolutely in there showing each other we can get it done, and we absolutely work and work and work until we do it. As I opened up earlier in the show, the app, WhysAdvice with FatDag in your app store, whether it's in the Apple Play Store or the Google Play Store, that is a pretty good reminder, because this happens to a lot of us. As we join this, we jump in with both feet. We just can't wait to get this, and we listen every single day, and we're all in, and something happens, and very rarely do we know what it is that distracts us. But something distracts us, and we stop counting points. We stop listening to the podcast. And if the scale breaks, all of these things, something happens. It's a chain reaction generally, and instantly we become off track. You have to have things in your life that remind you of the success that you're having and remind you that you can get it done. The reason I'm a big fan of the app is because this app sits on your phone, and very rarely when all of these things happen, when you stop tracking, you don't usually delete your app. You don't usually then just kind of give up that deep where you just say, I'm just done, and I delete the app. But if you had to go search for the podcast, you may not be strong enough to do that. But if this app sits on your phone, and after 3-4 weeks of you somehow you're reminded of your why, and all of a sudden this app is there, you just click on it, you listen to the latest episode, and I'm hoping it snaps you back in. You jump back into the Facebook group, you retrack, you regain your confidence. You hop on the scale and you say, I am going to do this. So one last time, that you have to do what is sustainable for you. Find a program that works. Congratulations on being down 15 pounds. 15 pounds does not happen by accident. I don't care if it took you a year. I don't care if it took you 3 years. You made a deliberate focus and effort to do that, and you absolutely are able, and you're getting it done. Continue doing your best every single day. The weight absolutely will come off. And as I like to say, I'm paraphrasing, and I've heard it many times on the internet. I don't know who the direct quote goes to, but the term is, if you actually want to change your life, you actually have to go change your life. You've got to do something different. And that different is finding things that motivate you, tapping into them, joining a supportive community, and getting it done. So thank you for your email. Melissa writes in and says, I have found my why. The journey I've been on has been one of self-discovery. My why has changed 3 times, but the why is deeper than the others, and I feel like I have my real why. You see, growing up, I was abused. I'd always been made to feel that not only was I not good enough, but I had no place being the best at anything. This has taught me that blending in was all I could hope for. Having no right to be exceptional, I found myself settling for average or less than average. It was uncomfortable to be noticed or complimented. I wanted to disappear. Now, at almost 40 years old, I have discovered that I want to shine. I deserve to be the best I can be, and even though I was a scared little girl who was never worth much, today I am a strong woman who knows my worth, and it feels amazing. Thank you, Weight Watchers and FatDag, for pushing me to find my why. Melissa. Melissa, you don't have to want anything. You absolutely are already shining. I can see the strength in your email. I can see the amount of pride you have in yourself. And based on your email, obviously it wasn't all there for your entire life, but it's clearly there now. So you don't have to want to shine at all. You clearly are shining. And there are people all over the world right now who are listening to this who now will shine because you've given them an understanding of what shining looks like. You've shown them the light. You've shown them a way to get it, and they want to get it as well. You're shining so bright that others don't even need to shine because you're shining for them. As they continue to walk this journey, following your lead, following the lead in our group, they too will shine, and the whole world will shine as we continue to shine together. The absolute best thing about any of these things as we work this journey is at any moment in your life, you can declare victory, and you can completely reinvent yourself any time you want. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as saying, I'm done. I deserve to be the best. Even though I was a scared little girl, I wasn't worth much. Today, I'm a strong woman who knows my worth, and it feels amazing. That declaration right there is how you completely reinvented yourself. Continue on with that message. Use that message in everything that you do. Continue to prove that your why is stronger than anything else that you have. It'll power you to whatever goal you want to get to. Congratulations on finding your why. As I was reading your email, it reminded me, we put together a team of bloggers. All of us come from the Connect community. We just kind of found each other somewhat, I would say randomly, but I don't really believe in random. But what is interesting is we found a group of us, and we just kind of all gravitated together, and we kind of were chatting a little bit, and we formed a blog. And so on fatdag.com, you click on blog. There's, 7 or 8 of us or so that are writing blog posts. Just about every other day, a post gets out. And at first, I thought this was written by one of my bloggers, and I realized it wasn't, which was even more amazing, because then it was like, okay, this story's real. And as I'm reading this on Facebook, Mary chimes in and says, I have tears in my eyes while listening to Melissa's email. What I'm telling you is, Melissa, you're shining, because other people right now get exactly what you've said. They may not have been strong enough to put it in words. They may not have been strong enough to share it, but your voice shines so bright for so many other people. that you've proven that you are a completely different person. And that new person is awesome. Keep up the amazing work. Next email comes in from Keith, and Keith writes in, says, Dear FatDag, non-scale victories abound. Today, for the first time in my adult life, I went clothes shopping in the men's section. Oh, and not the big and tall. In all my teen and eventually adult life, my sport coat size has been always a 52 long. Today, I picked a sport coat off the rack and I tried it on. It fit perfectly. To my utter consternation, I am now a 48 regular with about 60 pounds left to goal. Today was eye-opening, a bit confusing, and very exciting. I got here with focus, and I will be at goal with focus. What a remarkable journey. Thank you for what you do to keep us inspired, to keep moving toward goal. Keith, congratulations. How cool is it to walk in and not have to shop in the big and tall section? You did that. Dude, your photos, I've seen your before and after photos and your before and during photos. You're absolutely incredible. I understand exactly what you said. It's eye-opening when you walk into a store for the very first time and you're trying on sizes that you've never tried on before. It absolutely is a little bit confusing. And I'll be honest with you, it's still, to me now, I've been at goal now for a little over almost 2 years or so, about a year and a half and change. I have to do the math real quick. And there are still things that I try on that I grab an old size that doesn't even come close to fitting. So it is going to be confusing for a very long time. But as you realize things that you try on now fit, it is very exciting. As we opened the show, in the Facebook group, Shane was writing and he said, hey, FatDag, I got a whole bunch of new clothes. I got some new underwear. I got some new jeans. It feels good. You know, clothing sizes and regardless of the number, you know, we certainly know that clothing manufacturers play some tricks on us by changing numbers and sizes. All that stuff aside, we actually can tell that one shirt is smaller than another and we put it on. And when you put on clothes that fit good and look good, you're a completely different person. I would encourage you all to do as Shane did, do as Keith did. Go to, right now, rush out, go to a store, try on something that's a size that you don't even think you can wear. A size down from where you are, 2 size downs from where you are, put it on. It probably fits. There's a good chance if you've been on this journey for any length of time, the clothes you're wearing that you've always worn, you're just comfortably accepting that size, you can probably get into a size below. And when you start doing that and you start having that success, just like Keith said, it's eye-opening. It's a little confusing, but it's absolutely very exciting. You continue on that path. You continue to have this amazing success, and you reach goal. You get to the point where you step on the scale and you say, I don't want to lose any more weight. I don't want to put on a smaller pair of pants than this. And when you get there, the feeling is so freeing. And you celebrate. And we celebrate with you. And so Keith chimes in. He just happens to be on live. He says, since he was 14, he's worn a size 13 triple E shoe. This week he learned he's a 10.5. Again, confusing, but oh, so pleasant. So from a 13 down to a 10.5 shoe, all the way, coat size is changing. Everything about us changes, and we celebrate. Well, what is it that you're celebrating? Let's share it on the air. Go to FatDag.com, click on Listen Now, send in your celebrations, your comments, your questions. I'll work them in as part of the show. I really want you to email in your celebrations. I want you to email in your story because I want you to be proud of what you're doing. As you continue to hear and you continue to be reminded as you listen to the show that we are all alike. You know, there are so many things that we have in common, but for the most part, we believe we're the only ones going through it. And as we hear other people who start off with a struggle, who are absolutely succeeding and doing the things that we want to do, it gives us an incredible amount of strength. You know, I started thinking about this earlier, and so here's a question I would pose to you. You know, do you believe if I gave you an unlimited budget, and I gave you unlimited resources, could you put a man on the moon? And of course, everyone would say, well, yeah, if you gave me an unlimited budget, if you gave me unlimited resources, I absolutely can put a man on the moon. Why do you believe that's possible? Because someone's already done it. And they've shown you that it's possible. And now I'm giving you enough tools to do it. You too can get it done. But if I would have asked that question 200 years ago, the answer would have been no. No, I don't. Half the country would have said no. It's not possible. It takes one person doing it, and then slowly that belief, that fire ignites in the community, and suddenly everybody wants to do it. Do you believe you can lose weight? Do you believe you can get to the point where you hop on the scale and you no longer want to lose any weight? Well, I'm telling you, I know hundreds of people who've done just that. And I want you to be one of them. Well, that's going to do it for this time. Remember that losing weight and getting healthy has nothing to do with luck. You have to remain disciplined and focused. Set your sights on your goal and go after it. I wish you good focus.